And we are back, man. Another episode of the War Report radio series, man. I'm here with Ryan D of All Love Skateboards.
What's up, man?
Man,
what's good, cuz?
Ain't shit, man. I'm out here in Los Angeles. I'm flying out tonight, so we had to get this podcast in for All Love and Ryan D because it's been about 5 years since me, Kazembe, and Najee just kind of dropped you off out here, and you decided to stay.
Yeah,
so,
man. It's been
and
5
this is like my first. One of my first podcast interviews this year. Wow. Surprisingly, you know what I mean? Like
it's an honor. It's an honor.
Yeah, man. I honestly, bro, I take a lot of time off sometimes from podcasting and just get my mind right, get my money right, and
we all do.
Yeah, man. So now it's like a lifestyle podcast brand. Is what we've kind of evolved into at the War Report. We dropped the mixtape. How'd you feel about the mixtape, man?
That was fire, man. I listened to it, man, and I was like, I honestly thought there were a bunch of up and coming underground artists, but when you had told me it was a bunch of your partners that that made that, I was really surprised and impressed. So hey, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all boys killed that. That was actually pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So the background on that is I haven't really even discussed that anywhere. Thanks for bringing that up. But yeah, it wasn't just like a mix I put together. Like anybody could just go and do a mix, you know. We had our own home studio in College Park, Georgia.
Yeah.
And like some of the homies just came through and laid some great tracks down. Yeah. I was the only nigga that had access to the tracks.
Yeah.
Only nigga with a platform. They're like, yo, we want to do War Report exclusive, you know?
Yeah.
And I just kind of lucked up into the opportunity. But let's talk about you, man, because I haven't been podcasting in a minute, man. What's going on? You know, because I came out to LA to check on my people, man. So
yeah, man.
Speak on what you got going on and what happened ever since, you know, because you've been on the War Report before, but since we dropped you off, you know, in LA and you moved out here, like just speak on, you know, what you've been up to.
Well, shit, man. 5 years ago, man. It's been 5 years, you know, since I've been on the War Report. Last time I was on this thing, we was in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
At the Pop.
R.I.P. Pop. But we was at the house, man, and we was just talking about a lot of stuff, you know, skating and, you know, just what you want to do, what we want to do with our futures and everything like that. But you know, since I came out here, man, we just to update you all, 5 years ago, me, him, and a couple of our friends all came out here on a vacation. We stayed for a week, and when that week was up, I just decided, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna just stay out here and see what happens, man. And it's been 5 years now since I did that, and you know, absolutely changed my life, my perspective on life, on everything, man. So I recommend anybody out there who, you know, got a little idea or something, you know, you want to chase it, but you kind of afraid to jump out there, man, go do it, man. I'm a perfect example of, you know, just chasing your dreams, and, you know, it'll fall into place for you if you really got a good heart and you really want to do it, you know. But you know, I've been out here 5 years, been work with dogs, you know. I'm pretty much a dog handler, trainer, groomer, socializer, everything. I do everything with dogs, and just been chasing a career in skating, man, you know, and made it pretty far, you know. Got some accomplishments, got some big things under my belt that I've accomplished that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, some major things.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
some major things. We'll get into that right now. So one of the major things that I thought, you know, was special as far as, you know, coming out here and you, because you were young, you were pretty young still, you know, when you moved out here, like 24, 25 or something like that, right? And that definitely inspired me to move out of my hometown.
Word.
But one of the things I would speak on with you is, not only was like the first tape, that the first little mixtape, 3-minute tape that they had of you, stupid fire.
Appreciate that.
Stupid fire.
I appreciate that.
We can start there, but I really wanted to talk about the foundation, bro, and how you give back, because that was a route that, you know, not a lot of people decide to take.
Yeah, word, man. Yeah, and talking about All Love Skateboards, and as you can see, we both rocking the tees right now. Basically, this foundation is a foundation me and a couple of my homies, and you know, well, me and just a few of my friends just started up. Basically what it is, it's just a foundation that goes to neighborhoods and communities out here that are underprivileged, and we throw events that give away free skateboards, shoes, clothes, everything under the sun when it comes to skateboarding, you know, away for free to these kids in these communities that, you know, just need it, man. So, you know, last year during COVID, I pretty much, you know, was just buying a bunch of shoes, a bunch of, you know, complete skateboards, and everything like that. And I was going to these skate parks in communities all around South Central LA, and you know, just having these events and just stoking out the communities, just getting the kids excited, giving them tons of free stuff, man. Check out the Instagram, ALLOVE Skateboards, at ALLOVE Skateboards. You can see a ton of photos, and we got videos, and you know, everything you need to see to understand what we're about. But yeah, man, it's been a truly an amazing thing to do, to give back. And just
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
As far as getting all of the like the shoes and the skateboards and giving away prizes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, break that down. Is that like you just putting up your own bread and you know, doing your best to give back and with a little bit of flip involved, or is it like, I don't know, your plans is to like go straight foundation, like to get the right paperwork. So speak on that. Like, how were you able to do that and pull that off?
Well, in the beginning, I just took a fat lump sum of my own money and I just started it off. You know, I'm pretty sure that's how every entrepreneur has to do it, or you know, you get some type of investor. But for me personally, I just used a fat chunk of my own money, and I just went and bought everything I needed that I thought in my head to make an event. You know, and I had an idea in my head of what I thought an ALLOVE event was gonna look like. I had pretty much a blueprint, so I pretty much just went and took all the money that I made and I saved, and I just went and bought everything, and I started promoting it. And then once I started promoting it, people started getting behind it, and then I started thinking of ideas to raise more money. So that's where the shirts came in, and I would make these shirts and I would sell them, and then I started making sweaters and everything like that. So the initial investment led to me creating something that people were excited about, and once I realized that there was an excitement for it, I was like, all right, well, let me create something where people can get a piece of that. And then when you get a piece of that, you're donating something to me, to us, to ALLOVE, that's gonna go to a kid. A small little donation really does a lot, because out here, these shoes and these skateboards and all that stuff like that, everything's really cheap. I know where to go to get everything made out here. So it's that's pretty much how I was doing it. I took my money, and then I started it, and then I eventually started making it to where I was making money from my merchandise, and I was making enough money through that to just continue making more stuff and buying more gear and having more events, and that's pretty much how I was doing it.
Break down, like a little bit before that though, how you crossed over from, being like a underground like street king of like your park, or just Los Angeles allure, you know what I mean? Because I'll never forget, I came out here to visit, and I'm not sure if we discussed this ever on the podcast before, but we were in Hollywood, and this dude's like, yo, that's Ryan D.
That was a minute ago.
That
was one of the homies. I'm not really sure who it was. I can't remember. That was so long ago, but definitely know what you're talking about.
But yeah, so how did it cross over from being, that's that new dude in town from Houston, to you linking up to getting your first, like, what was the first big thing for you from being a guy that moved out of his hometown in Houston to Los Angeles, that was like, all right, well, damn, I'm kind of doing this?
Let's see.
Maybe it was like the first time you started dealing with Bay Street, or
definitely.
Yeah, speak about that.
So Bay Street Boys, this is one of the T's right here. Shout out Bay Street Boys, man. Love you guys, man. But basically, when I got out here, I was skating at Stoner Skate Park all the time, and I had.
Why'd you choose that skate park?
That was just a local skate park. It was just down the street from the house. It wasn't no specific reason or anything like that. That was the closest park. But when you skate, you break your boards and all your stuff. So you gotta obviously go to a skate shop to get more stuff. And I used to go over there. There was a few other shops that I tried out a couple times. I went once or twice, but Bay Street just had something that was different, man. They had, the gear, obviously, but they just had more of a family-oriented vibe in there. It was just more accepting.
And one day, somebody's like, yo, or what happened? Well, kind of make that connection.
When I got on the shop was when they dropped Bay Street 1 video. Sante Bentivoglio had told me, yo, come to the premiere. It's going to be at the shop. And then when I got there, I remember after the video, we was in the back of the shop, And he was like, "Yo, would you be down to ride for us?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, man!" You know, that was something that I was definitely, you know, always aspiring to you know, acquire one
Yeah.
day. You know, having somebody, you know, just back me up. But it turned out to be more than just a sponsorship or whatever, man. Them my real friends, them my real family, man. They looked out for me. You know, all 5 years I've been out here, they've pretty much known me and looked after me, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, them my boys, man. You know, nothing bad to say about them.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So you're doing your thing at Stoner Park, and
Yeah,
now you got Bay Street as the fam. You know, that's you know putting some good energy and some good support behind you.
yeah, for
All
sure.
right. Now then what? You know, because then you got like a trucking deal or
No, truck sponsor.
yeah, truck spot. Like how does it work? So like Bay Street pretty much was like, yo, we're gonna give you free boards. Like Ryan,
Well, no, see,
how does
no,
it work?
it doesn't work like that necessarily. So when you get a shop sponsor, you know, you can get free stuff every now and then, but like, you know, you just get the hookup. You know, I mean, that's for my situation, Bay Street situation. I can't speak for every shop out there, but you know, we just get, you know, we get the low on all the stuff in there. You know,
Okay.
we get wholesale price basically. Um, but
Yeah, so how does it transfer into all right, now I'm doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? And then like I guess during this period is when you're putting together most of your like footage for
oh yeah,
that first video.
yeah.
that
So
dropped.
yeah, in that time, you know, when I first got on the shop is when we started filming for a second video. Maybe like a few months after that, they started going out and filming for a second video. So we worked about 2-3 years on that. And go check that out. That's on YouTube. It's the Bay Street 2 video. You know, just type in Bay Street Boys. It'll come up. You'll probably see a little, you know, thumbnail of me with short dreads. So, you know, check that out. But yeah, from there, you know, we dropped that video, and then you know I just continued skating, and you know I met a bunch of different people out here, and you know never really met anybody where I got on any big companies like that. But another big opportunity that I had got was one day with Bay Street Boards. We had went to this place out here called the Barracks. I'm pretty sure some people are familiar with it, but it's pretty much just a skate park out here that's, you know, well known,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of pros have come in and out of there, and you know it's just a very
Done
well,
their thing, yeah.
yeah, it's a very well known. It's like, you know, I'm not gonna
It's
say
like Rucker Park for
yeah,
skating.
yeah, it's like the Rucker Park. You know, if you're gonna, you know, do something for the, you know, the streets or whatever, you're gonna come in. It's not the real deal. It's not the streets, but it's the next thing close to it. You know, it's
Yeah.
not the NBA, but you know, you right there. So
Exactly.
you know, but
So shout out to the Barracks.
shout out to the Bears, man.
All right, we're back, man. We had to take a quick break. That break was sponsored by
Howlin' Rays, baby.
Shout out to one of the best fried chicken sandwiches known
Shout out Howlin' Rays,
USA.
man.
But we
Shout
were
out
talking,
Jose. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, shout out to them. We were just talking about the Barracks, man, and how you kind of got to that level.
Yeah.
So break down that day of the Barracks and the trick and how you guys can find it online, and break down all of that stuff.
All right, for sure, man. So, yeah, jumping back into where we left off, basically, like I was saying, Sante's Bay Street Boards, his owner, his cousin had a little thing he was doing. He was shooting a music video for Doja Cat at the Barracks, and they needed extras, so they invited us. And, yeah, you know, when we went there, none of us were really all worried about the you know, the music video or anything, honestly, or Doja Cat. We were just trying to skate the Barracks. That was probably like my second or third time there, so I was just really hyped to be there. And there was a trick that I had in mind before I went there, and it was basically a fakie front crook on this outledge that they have there. I know a lot of people don't know what a fakie front crook. He probably he's speaking Spanish right now, but you know, it's just a trick, you know, basically where you grind on the ledge, and then the ledge goes off of this 10 staircase, so it's like a 6-foot drop. You know, nobody really likes to skate it because it's pretty dangerous. So, you know, that's right up my alley. So I had an idea that I could do this fakie front crook on this outledge when I got there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when I got there, I started trying it. And well, you know, first I skated around and everything. I didn't just get there and just start doing it. But
Yeah.
you know, I skated around and built my confidence up. And eventually, you know, I just started going for it. And as I was going for it, this dude started, like, you know, filming me on his phone. This guy, you know, I didn't know who he was. He was a random guy. And you know, I ended up landing the trick. And then, he ended up telling me like, yo, man, I work for the barracks. I'm gonna put this on the Instagram. And, it was just my first like breakthrough moment where, I was just noticed by somebody.
Yeah.
So
So just to, cause yeah, I didn't even know that side of the story. So
yeah.
pretty much you were just in there and just decided to go dummy, just kind of seize the moment a little bit, seize the opportunity.
Yeah.
And you didn't even peep that it was going to be on their YouTube or Instagram or anything, or
Well,
you kind of knew? Or
I mean, once he told me that he worked for the barracks, there's a guy named Tim. Shout out Tim, man. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, he was just like, yo, I work for the barracks. I'm gonna put this on the Instagram. So, like I said, that was my first time being recognized by like, anybody like that on that level. And they just put it on their Instagram. It was just a story, it wasn't a post or anything. But once I did that, it was like I kind of made a little splash in the water at the barracks, and people just kind of was like, because it was an MBD, meaning never been done. Nobody had ever done that before, so like that kind of gave me a name in there, so I was able to, go back a little bit more freely, because before I never was able to just go there.
Yeah.
So it's not like I could just pull up, but like I had a little bit of a face card at that point.
Yeah.
So
cause in the video on YouTube that made YouTube,
yeah,
it was almost like you tried the trick one day and then you had to come back the next day.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Is that not exactly how it happened?
Yeah, no, I'll get into that. So
or is that a different day, different trick?
No, it took 2 days. It took 2 days, and it was 2 very fucking hard fought days. But just not to skip too far forward. I'm gonna just continue where I was at. But basically, to kind of speed it up, once I did that, one of the homies one night had hit me up. My boy Antonio Evans hit me up one night and was like, "Yo, bro, you want to come through to the barracks?" And I was like, "For sure." So I pulled up, and got to skate with them. And I ended up seeing the guy Tim again, the guy who filmed me on his phone and put me on the barracks the first time. And he was like, "Hey man, do you want to film some shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah." He was like, "All right, think of 9 tricks around the park, that you want to get, and we'll film them." And I was like, "All right, bet." So I'm thinking like, damn, I'm guessing this is like a banging, and that's like a little segment that they do for skaters or whatever. So they just give you some shine. And I was like, all right, bet. So, I wrote down the tricks, hit them up after about a week, and then went up over there to knock that out. Ended up fucking around and fucking breaking myself off in that bitch. Like, almost broke both my wrists and shit. It was so crazy, dog. Just trying to do some other shit. Not even trying to do the trick that I was going there for.
Yeah.
But, I missed the whole part of the story. But anyways, just... when Tim asked me, do I want to film some shit for the barracks? I was like, yeah. And then he mentioned that fakey front crook, and he was like, can you 180 out of it? And I was like, shit, man, I could flip out of it. Like that means like kick flip out of it. So basically, that's fakey front crook flip out. That's basically just it's not that. Well, most people would love the trick. It's people say it's a hard trick. To me, it's it's just a normal trick, but it once again had never been done before.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying? He asked me, could I 180? I told him I could flip out. So he was like, all right, bet, we're going to get that. And, so like I said, I got hurt when I went in there before I could even try that trick, the flip out. So months went by, man, and I really couldn't even skate that well because I was so broke off from that shit. I, like, hurt my wrist, my ass. It was really bad, man. It was really bad. I thought I'm lucky I didn't break nothing that day. But,
so how'd it go from that to what we see on YouTube?
So basically, months went by, and a few 6 months went by, man, because I was healing up from that shit, that slam, and finally I had got back to feeling like myself.
Yeah.
And Tim had just hit me up one day on Instagram, was just like, "Yo, what's up, man? You still in LA?" And I was like, "Yeah, what's the deal?" He was like, "You still want to get that, that fakey front crook flip out?" I was like, "Hell yeah." And he was like, "Good." He was like, "Well, somebody claimed it already." And I'm thinking like, why does this guy hit me up just to tell me somebody already did it? And then he takes me back right before I could even send anything. He's like, "But I want you to do it first." And I was just like, "Oh shit!" Like, so somebody's saying that they wanted to try it, but they haven't even done it yet. But I said I wanted to do it 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying?
So shout out to Tim. That's love.
Yeah, so big shout out to Tim, man. Dude was looking out for me, man. So he was just like, I want you to do it first, because I already stepped to the ledge. I already did it, So he knew I had it in me. So, basically he called, he hit me up. We set up a date. I go in there, and so I went in there on the first day. And it was like after work or some shit like that. I remember going in there, going hard for like 3 hours, bro. And that's where you see the first day in the video. I'm trying over and over. Like the first day, maybe like 100 tries, bro. Didn't land it though, bro. Ended up smashing my left big toe. Nail ended up coming off few weeks later and shit. It was crazy, bro. But I really just wanted it, so I didn't get it that first day. Left there, fucking beat the fuck up, threw up, fucking toe was black, just completely exhausted and beat up, man.
Yeah.
And they can't show you all that in the video, but I was really beat up. Like you could see it, like in one of the ones I didn't even get up. I was just tired as fuck, and they just switched to day 2. But anyway, so day 2 was actually like 3 days later, and I was still beat the fuck up, man. Like I could hardly walk, but I knew that opportunity wasn't just going to, it was there like for the moment, it wasn't something that was just going to last forever. So I was like, man, look, I got to suck up this pain, and I got to fucking do this shit. If I want to make anything in this industry, in this game or whatever, if I want to leave any type of mark, I'm going to have to fucking suck this pain up right now. So in day 2, like, you can't see it, but bro, I'm in so much fucking pain skating that ledge. But I was just like, fuck it, dog. Like, I'm like, I gotta land this shit. Like, I've already put so much work in to get to this point.
Yeah.
Like going all the way back to just jumping off the plane and not getting, or just not going back home. I'm thinking about all of that.
All that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Everything. So
everything kind of went into that moment right then and there. You kind of had to change. Claim your glory. So what went into you actually landing the thing? Because the video makes it seem like it was the board. You get a fresh board, boom.
So I forgot about it.
And you pretty much land the trick.
So basically, all right. So like I said, first day I don't land it. Second day I go in there, and then it was maybe like an hour and a half I was trying to before I actually did it. But so I'm trying it on my board, and I end up, as you can see in the video, I snapped my board, and I'm like, fuck, because that's a big deal. Like on a big ledge and on a trick like that, like I want to skate a board that's broken in, that I'm used to, and so all of a sudden I have to stop skating, or I get cold. My legs get cold. I fucking have to set up a new board. Luckily Tim gives me a new board. It's a Barry's Canteen board. I still have that board, but I set that shit up. I start skating. It feels completely different. I think I had like an anti-hero board, and then I snapped it, and they gave me a Barracks Canteen board, and I'm like, fuck, this shit doesn't even feel the same, yo. Like, it was completely different shape. But
so that kind of, you felt like before you landed it, you was like, damn, this shit ain't looking good.
Nah, I was like, I'm gonna land it, but I just snapped my board. Like, and every skater's been there, like, where you're like so focused and you like feel it, like you're gonna land it. But also you snap your shit and you're like, fuck, dog. And like, that could be a momentum or a game changer right there. But luckily Tim came with the board. Bam. He just was like, get back on it. I started warming back up. And before I knew it, I was just trying it again. And then all of a sudden, like maybe 10 more tries in, I stuck the first one where I put my hand down. And I was just like, oh shit. But, I've been skating my whole life, man. So like when I put that hand down, I was like, bro, I'm like, come on, dog. Like, that's like, Kobe going up for a shot, and like he hit rim and he just wanted all net. You feel me? Like you just want all net. You don't want no backboard.
Or you getting sent to the free throw line or something like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I just was like, nah, bro. That's where I said I want pure perfection. You know what I'm saying? I wanted that shit to be perfect. So I landed it one time, and then I went back up there, and maybe like 2 tries later, I like did it perfect, and that was it. It was history. That was another never been done. They put that on the Barracks YouTube. That's up there forever. You know what I'm saying? So that that's something special to me. It's not the craziest thing in the world to me, realistically, but for me, just coming from Houston and like just chasing a dream, to have something that's tangible, I can go look at that for pretty much as long as I live. So I'm proud of that.
So one thing that you were talking about during your story that we got to talk about is the injuries kind of behind the scenes. that comes with being a professional skater.
I'm,
So
I'm not pro, but yeah.
yeah, man, you're a pro my shit.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is like people don't want know unless you speak on it.
Yeah, for sure.
So just the amount of times you like fall down from like doing a new trick or the potential injury you could do with any trick that you do.
Yeah.
You know, what's it like dealing with that like as a skater? Because like you saying you had a black toe and all the time, say you do that trick 100 times and miss 100 times, that mean that you bust your ass 100 times?
No, well, I mean, I'm luckily, I've been skating so long that I know how to fall. I mean, there's some situations where you can't help it, but like, I know how to like, I'm agile, I'm athletic. I know how to I know how to bail. I know how to get myself out of the situation. But that, not everything. I can't do everything, but
Yeah, sometimes you just land funny on your feet.
yeah,
Sometimes it's just the constant battering of
your body, man. So yeah, I was beat up, man, and it's a lot of injuries that go, or that come with this life, man. And I've broken my arm. I don't know if y'all can see that, but I have a fucking long ass. Not too long ago, I had broke my arm, basically snapped this shit in half. It was a compound fracture. Bone came out my arm. Shit was bleeding. And
yeah, let's talk about that, man.
it was fucking crazy.
What was that about? 'Cause so now we're after the barracks move.
Yeah.
This is barracks is before All Love or at like during or
That was before. That was a minute before All Love. That was a long time before All Love.
Yeah, so you didn't even have a skate foundation or a brand that you were really repping other than all right. So break it down. How do you go from the barracks to like I think I'm ready now to just kind of have my own kind of brand in skateboarding, and why'd you do your own brand? And then we'll get into the arm injury.
All right, for sure. Well, big reason I got into doing a nonprofit was, being out here, I got a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs, have businesses. So I see a lot of it. A lot of my friends have businesses and things that they're doing, including you. You know what I'm saying? So that was the inspiration. And then, just basically being a skateboarder, you're very replaceable. Your career is not guaranteed. It's just like being a running back in football. At any given moment, your career could be ended. So I just want to do something where, for me, I could always be in skateboarding and doing something with skateboarding, no matter what, whether I'm skating or not, because I'm gonna get too old one day. God willing, I live that long. But when I do get too old, I still want to be able to be involved in the sport and just giving back, and just giving the kids the opportunity to just get into skateboarding, because it just really opens up your mind and opens up opportunities for you, no matter where you're from.
Now, when we're talking about just the average skater, does the average skater, kind of aspire to have their own brand that they rock? Like, just the average guy that's in the park skating with you at Stoner Park.
Well,
how many of those guys are willing to go out on a limb and just kind of have their own brand? What do you think?
Not everybody. It's out of 10 people, I say maybe like 3 of them would want to do it. A lot of people just want to get sponsored and get the big name brand sponsors and just be hooked up. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, my age, I know I'm 29, so it's a lot harder for me to get into the industry right now as opposed to a 21-year-old or an 18-year-old who has guaranteed another 10, 15, 20 years in the game. Whereas to me, it's like I got a little bit, people gonna look at me like, oh, you already 30, which in 10 years you're gonna be 40. How much more work you really want to put in? But nowadays there's a lot of guys skating till they real old. But just,
do you feel like it's a young man's game?
It's a young man's game. It's anybody's game, depending on your mind. But as far as like a big name brand sponsor, like they're gonna look at the younger kids before they look at somebody like me. But that's where I realized, like, all right, well, look, what can I offer that a young kid's not gonna have or can't offer? And you know what? That's when I was like, let me take matters into my own hands and get. I can get recognized on the board, but like let me see if I can get recognized also off a board, and see if that can also bring attention to what I'm doing,
and what you represent.
Yeah, so that's where I kind of was like, all right, well, I wanted to start a brand, and I didn't necessarily have all love and everything, the name and all that. But, I was brainstorming, I was at Bay Street Boards talking with them, Sante and Gali, and then they, I was like, oh, I want to do this clothes brand or board brand, and they were like, nah, bro, it's like, man, it's too hard to compete with these companies nowadays. They was like, do something everybody don't want to do. They was like a non-profit. They was like, you don't realize how much money people make off of that. You're doing something positive, So when they said that, I was like, yeah, that'd be a good ass idea, and I'm actually gonna be having fun.
Yeah.
Doing what I love, giving some kids introducing them to something I love. So it was all organic, it was all natural.
Where'd you come up with the name ALLOVE? Like,
so basically it's real simple, man. I remember I was on Instagram, I can't remember who I was DMing, but somebody DM'd me and I was like, yeah, man, thank you, man, or something like that. And I told him, no, he said, no worries, bro, it's all love. And I was like, damn, I was like, all love. I was like, that sounds like a dope brand name.
Yeah, facts.
And I was like, fuck. And I was like, so I Googled it and I was like, is all love anything? And sure enough, it wasn't nothing. Nobody's ever used it for nothing. Or like, it was like a hair product, some shit.
Yeah, some shit.
I was just like, whoa, like, damn, this is crazy. All love skateboards. And then, Love Park, so I was just like, that's crazy that nobody's thought of something so simple like that yet. And with me, I was like, well, you know what? That's something that I feel like that name, I don't ever have to change it. I don't ever have to do nothing. It just, it speaks for itself.
Facts.
Like, I can go anywhere and just, what's all love? It's simple, so that's how I got the name. Once I got the name, like I told my friends and people about the name, and they were all down with it. They were all like, "That's a sick name."
Yeah.
So I hurried up and made an Instagram and got the what you call it, I registered with the state and everything just to get the name clear. So got the website and all that made. But yeah, the name goes, man. I really love the name, All Love. It's exactly what I'm doing. It represents exactly what we
speak
do.
about some of the support that you got so far. Like, how do you feel people reacted to it? Because obviously, you got that family support always, but how do you feel like the streets of LA and your local park and your local group of like community that you already fuck with kind of gravitated towards the brand so far?
It's been well. It's been accepted really well, man. The streets, as far as like the people out here, man, it's different, man. You can see it in their faces when I'm in these communities and these skate parks, how they look up to you, man, and how they appreciate what we doing for them. It's something else, man. Hold on. You can cut this out. What was the question one more time?
The question was just like, we talked about just how you came up with the name, and then, how do you feel about how the community has kind of come on and reacted to your brand? We don't got to cut it. It's cool.
Oh, my bad. Okay, but yeah. So yeah, man, a lot of smaller companies out here have reached out and come out to the events and donated stuff. I don't even ask for none of it, man. They just be showing up and they just give me like tons of stuff, man. So we've had Power Peralta come out, Grind Kings, Blood In, Blood Out, Skateboards, Icon Movement, High Tech Truck Nut. There's so many little brands and big brands that have contributed to what I'm doing, man. It's crazy. But so far I've given away 100 brand new pair of Vans, 100 complete skateboards, probably 400 or 500 All Love t-shirts just like this one. It's gotten to the point now where I went to a skate park one day and there was a kid I didn't even know, had no idea who he was. He had on the All Love shirt, you know what I mean? And that was crazy. That was my first time seeing somebody I didn't know have my stuff on, and that really hit home. I was like, damn, like,
that's what's up.
Yeah, it was a good feeling, man. It was a great feeling. So I feel like the streets is accepting it well, man. I feel like people really getting behind it. Since I've started it, I've definitely seen a lot of people kind of take what I'm doing and kind of make it into their own idea. So I'm definitely flattered by all of it, man. It's dope to see people taking from what I'm doing and kind of running with it and giving back. That's all what it's about in the first place.
That's what's up, man. So, to speak about some of the parks and stuff that you've gone to, and like where you pretty much doing the most damage at in the, like which communities,
So just
which parks are you heavy at?
mostly in the South Central communities. We go to neighborhoods that's underprivileged, and that we know that ain't got it like that. So we going out to the first event was at Gilbert Lindsay Skate Park, and that's in South Central. The second one was at Lincoln Skate Park. That's in East LA.
Mm-hmm. Are you posting up, or are you getting like city approval, or you just pop out?
During last year when we was doing the events, we were just posting up and popping up, man. We weren't even having nothing like that city approval. We just was running
just
it,
taking the streets back to in your own hands.
Yeah, we had to though, man. Like literally, kids like couldn't get boards, couldn't get shoes, nobody could get anything. And I had all this stuff that I've managed to come up on and figured out how to get. So I was like, man, I felt like Robin Hood or something. I was like, man, I got all this stuff. Let me give it back. So that's that's kind of how that goes like that.
Okay. All right. Well, So now you got the ALLOVE popping off, and you like the local hero, in the underground street king of Los Angeles. Sitting right next to me, man, to my left right now. So, all right. So now it's like you're doing IG content and stuff like that. Like, what's it like keeping up and just trying to always kind of like outdo your next trick? Because me watching it from the East Coast or whatever case may be, Ryan is just doing Ryan. He's going dummy. Yeah. He's got new tricks out, whatever the case may be. He's doing cool things, and then the trucking company hit you. Like, speak about some of your growth as you're kind of building in the community. Yeah. What's also going on like independently, like as a skater, like because it's two separate. Like it's not two separate lanes; it's the same lane, but
definitely.
It's almost like your skater career is one thing, and then ALLOVE is just like the icing on the cake that kind of makes everything go with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So what was going on during your like pro like career at that time? Like, you know what I mean? Like just trying to get bigger.
For everybody out there, I'm not a pro. You keep calling
this guy's a pro skater, man. This dude is the first skater signed to Yeezy.
I'm really not. But anyways, man, what was the question one more time, man?
Like I'm saying, what was going on during that time that
Okay, so
you got the foundation stuff popping off. Like how was your name buzzing in the streets? Like what was going on?
So at that point, I had an event and I was just hungry, man. Like I still was skating hard as hell. So I was just skating just for fun. Just I wanted to make it still, but I was still very focused on ALLOVE. But I was still very hungry, and right before I got ALLOVE really popping and had my first event, I had a little company called Destructo Trucks reach out to me. And they wanted me to, they wanted to sponsor me and give me, trucks. And basically, it's my first real sponsorship or anything like that. It's a small company, but it was my first time getting, free shit from a company. So that was real cool, man. And it was a great opportunity to, see what it's like to be in the industry and, the expectations and what they expect you to do or what's expected of you, and how going out and skating these spots, and it's real sick, man. It's real fun, but you just want to make sure you get intertwined with the right people who have your best interest in mind. You're not just getting into a situation where somebody's just trying to get their job done, because that can ultimately lead to you as a skater's demise, man. So your skating is your craft, so don't ever let anybody rush you or make you or get you to do something that you're not really trying to do, or it's what you got in you. Just listen to yourself, listen to your intuition. And that's kind of what I learned from the whole Destructo thing. I don't ride for them anymore. I just recently quit them. But it was a great opportunity, but definitely it just didn't work out. I ended up breaking my arm while I was riding for them, and it was just a situation that could have been avoided, on a lot of different levels, but it was just some dishonesty, and
how okay, so let's break that down.
Yeah.
Here on the Warport, let's kind of unpack that.
Yeah.
So pretty much, so now Destructo is like, all right, well now we need Ryan D to do all these tricks, pretty much.
Yeah,
That's that's kind of how it works. It's like, all right,
it's
well,
not like they come to you with a list, like I got my own ideas, but they throw ideas and whatever at you, but you know, uh, I
yeah, and just break down the story of how it led to
me breaking my arm.
you breaking your arm, and how what time period are we talking about as far as from barracks to all love to
This
doing
was all in 1 year, man. This was the top of this
this is before COVID.
no, this is barracks is right before barracks is in January. Broke my arm in November of 2020. So this is all 1 year, man. It was like crazy year.
Okay.
But so basically with the whole my arm, man, I was skating with Destructo and everything was going good, man. Everything was going great. Definitely hungry, had tons of ideas and things I wanted to do to film and get my part out there. I just really wanted to get a part together and get it out there because I knew that if I got a part out there, I can get somewhere with it because I just believe in myself, So we were out there filming or whatever, and I had found this rail out in the streets that was this big ass handrail MacArthur Park, and I had an idea for it. And I told my TM or film or whatever, like, hey, yo, I got this idea. Let's go hit this rail. I want to hit this shit. So he's like, all right, for sure. So we pull up to the rail, we go out there to the streets, and we get there, we're setting up. And this rail is a big ass rail. It's a big deal for me personally. Like, this is a rail if you fuck up on, you could break your arm. You know what I'm saying? Break your fucking leg, your neck, anything. So
yeah,
it took me a minute to actually jump on the rail, but as I'm like hesitating to jump on, this other group of skaters pulls up and they start acting. They're about to start skating it with me, and then they ended up like saying, "No, we're not gonna skate it, but hey, jump on it one time, before we dip," because they saw like I was about to do it, but I was just hesitating, so they just hyped me up. I ended up jumping on it, didn't land it, but I got to the bottom. They hyped me up, so one of them ended up being a filmer, so he pulls out his camera and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna film that." So before we got there, my team tells me like, hey, this is when nobody's there. He tells me, hey, since it's only me and you, I'm gonna set up a camera on a tripod, like kind of how you got right here, and then I'm gonna take a photo of you actually doing it, so we could get, we can knock two birds out with one stone. You feel me?
yeah,
And so I'm like, all right, for sure. I trust him. And as I'm trying to do it, as I'm rolling up, I'm obviously not doing it. So he's got the camera rolling, and then when these guys pull up, as I jump on it, Tommy, before I even jump on it, my TM tells me, "Yo, if you get in the if you get into the ground, you don't land it, and I get the photo, we'll use the photo, and then I'll pick up the camera and I'll film it." So, because in skateboarding, you want to have the camera in your hand, the filming camera, because it just makes it look better. You don't really want stagnant angles all the time. So when the other dude showed up and he pulled out his camera, I guess my TM just kind of like forgot he had a camera and just like started focusing on the photo. So I ended up landing it. I did it in like 3 or 4 tries. I ended up landing it. I roll away. It's all good. And I'm hyped, as I roll away, I come back, and then the group of kids that I don't know shows me, like, on their camera, like, yo, this is your clip. I'm like, bet, man. I'm like, please send that to me, man.
They didn't send it?
So give me a second. So I was like, send that to me. I was like, for sure. So we got our info. We exchanged the info and everything like that. And then I walk over to my team. He's already got, like, his camera and everything packed up, and I didn't ask to, like, see his angle of the clip. So we get everything ready. We dip. We go. We leave. Then later on that night, my team hits me up and was like, "Yo, bro, I messed up the photos out of focus," because he told me that was gonna be like for a fucking poster or some shit or an ad, and he ends up saying like, "I'm gonna just run it on Instagram." And I'm just like, all right, man, that's cool. But, deep down, I'm like, dude, that's not a fucking Instagram photo, bro. Like, this is a huge ass. This could have been an ad. This could have been anything. But he didn't get the photo. So whatever. I'm like, he has the clip. That's all I really care about.
He don't even got the clip.
3 days later, he hits me up and he's like, he just says, "Yo, my angle won't work." Not, and he doesn't really explain what happened. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, what you mean? What happened? He's like, hit the other dude up and see if you can get his angle. Never really tells me what happened, and never really was like, "Yo, I'm really sorry about that. I'll make it right." It was just like he fucked up and he pawned his problem off on me, like he like made it my problem, when he was paid to film me, and paid to take a photo, and he didn't get nothing,
Damn.
You know what I mean? And that's and he could have told me everything right there on the spot that he missed the clip, and we could have handled that right then and there. But instead, he just waited 3 days, and it ended up leading to I hit the guy up who did film it. He doesn't answer, and I say
Never answered again.
We ended up getting the clip, but it was months later. So, the dude doesn't answer. My team hits him up. He doesn't answer. So I say, worst come to worst, we go back. And months go by. One day, my team hits me up and he's like, "Yo, you want to go back and get that?" We get there, and that's when I end up breaking my arm, man. So
you did it. You broke your arm first try.
Nah, it was like a few tries in, but I broke my arm, man, and I fucking had to go to the hospital and all that shit. And then that's when my team like starts hitting the guy up and like telling him he broke his arm, trying to go back and get that shit. And
that's when they finally send the fucking footage.
Yeah, so they finally sent the clip, not too long after that. But at that point, it's fucking I done broke my arm, so
Yeah.
like I'm out for 6 months, already.
Yeah,
So,
speak about that, and obviously you don't want to have to relive the process, but just for the listener out there, somebody watching it, like just like we're talking about a fall that your bone is out of the arm and it's pretty gruesome, and
it was fucked up.
You pretty much had to deal with that. So you went into surgery kind of immediately, or?
I went to the doctor and I had to wait a whole fucking night. I had to stay overnight with my arm snapped in half still, and then the next day they finally fucking put me under and fixed my shit. But that was crazy. It was 24 hours of my life, man. Excruciating pain, dude. Like, I was fucked up, really fucked up. Don't ever break any bones, and if you already have, you already know what the fuck it is. But yeah, man. So I had to have 2 fucking plates, put 2 rods, my radius and ulna, both of them snapped in half, and I have a screw in my scaphoid, my wrist.
Yeah. Do you deal with daily pain with that, or what does it feel like?
It just I feel it in there. It's in there. My arm ain't 100 no more. That bitch, it don't go straight. That's about as straight as it go right there. But it worked. It's on there. So I'm gonna just deal with it and live with it. They say it's gonna be in there to the grave, so I'm gonna take it to the grave with me.
Shit's crazy, man. So, what's it been like ever since that happened? Obviously, you got your cast off now.
Back to normal life pretty much now. But when it all initially happened, it was really difficult to deal with. Definitely dealt with depression and all of that, man, because I just felt like I was so close to reaching my goals, and it just, the only way I could really describe it is just being like a college player, and like you tear your ACL right before the fucking draft or some shit, and
Yeah.
That's kind of, or the combine or some shit, and that's kind of how I felt. But I had to really realize that I've accomplished a lot, and I'm not saying I'm quitting or giving up, but like, don't just beat myself up or feel like I failed. A lot of people still are inspired by my story and what I'm doing. So
yeah, and a lot of people don't even know about they do know that you broke your arm, but they don't know the whole story behind it. And,
yeah. So
and that what it came with.
And that's another thing is like I was running into people who my team had talked to about me, and he was telling everybody that it's just kind of a different side of the story, and
like what? He
wasn't really taking ownership of he missed the clip. He was just saying like, this kid, it wasn't sending the clip, and in my honest opinion, like the dude could have sent me the clip, but I didn't know that guy. He had no obligations to send me anything, He was just a random kid who was there with a camera, and as far as I'm concerned, like, I wasn't dependent on him to get the clip.
Yeah, you felt like the team should have got the clip.
Yeah, that's who I was there with, so that's who I was worried about. I wasn't worried about if that kid had the clip or not. But once my team finally admitted he missed everything, that's when it became like a big deal, and like we had to depend on this kid now. So that
how did that change things for you think, as far as your momentum and just kind of gaining back that confidence, that even you being on the board? Like, do you feel like yourself back out there yet, or?
I'm definitely getting closer to being myself, but at first, it was hard. It wasn't fun. It hurt. I couldn't fucking do anything really. It was really timid to skate, but it just took time, just working myself back into all the things that I normally do in life, and I, pretty much gained a lot of my confidence back. I definitely don't want to go through that again. So I pick my battles, but um, yeah, I mean, shit. I just had to learn, man. That was just my learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
but it just kind of it just fucked up my trust for the TM because I just felt like, man, dog, if you couldn't, you couldn't even just tell me you missed something like that, and that ended up leading to all of this. Ultimately, I jumped down and shit. That's my fault, but like, you should just like, come on, dog, just tell me the truth, bro. Like, it could have been handled a lot differently. So that's kind of why I just felt like I need to step away from this and just focus on me.
Mm-hmm.
If this skate shit is meant to happen for me, maybe it will. But I feel like I got a better chance doing all of shit. But
Mm-hmm.
you never know. I still got a love and a passion for skating. Maybe I could somehow finesse a way into the industry. But
Mm-hmm.
we'll see though. Only
Well,
future, only time
what
can
type
tell.
of what type? Say if everything goes right with that clip, what type of what was what's the next step for you anyway? Like you gotta
Well,
have to identify what that is.
I mean, pretty much just focusing on all of, what I'm saying, just getting a 501c3 so I can get my tax exemption status and really start getting funding so I can continue
Mm-hmm.
doing these events more frequently, and then getting it to the point where, I could turn it into a career, be paying people, give people opportunities, make a living off of it, and just turn it into something that can be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what I'm trying to get to. Hopefully one day I can have a facility at something like the barracks, not exactly like what they doing,
Mm-hmm.
but have a skate park, have a logistics, be sending out stuff to people who need it in areas all over the country, all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
have events all over the world,
Yeah.
and just spread skateboarding, man. It's a huge thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's what's up, man. Okay, now as far as your individual career as a skater, like, what do you think the next step for you in that lane is? You know what I mean? What, like, I know you were talking about putting out a tape or something like that. So
Yeah.
speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, man. I just right now I'm just focusing on just trying to get a part together. I just want to put out a part.
If somebody listening out there doesn't know what a part is, what is a part?
A part is basically just like a 2 or 3 minute video, 4 or 5, whatever, of you just skating. You skating street or whatever it is you skate. And it's you pick the music, you go out and get the clips. And it's basically like your album. It's like your album that you put
How
out for
long
people.
is it gonna be?
I can't tell you. It's going. However many clips I get, but whenever it is done, I definitely will be promoting that and putting that out.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really want to get one more solid part before kind of like the off season. What I'm saying, one more solid part before I feel like I solidify myself out here. And
As a skater.
and then continue from there maybe, or continue to all of it. Just keep doing both, but. Just focus on a part. Really focus on something I could look back on.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we discussed a lot. One thing I wanted to talk to you about was just like the city of Los Angeles, and you being here the past 5 years. Like, you were living out here when Nipsey was gunned down, and
It's fucked up.
you were
R.I.P.
out
Nip.
here when Kobe passed. So like,
Fucked up.
how do you feel like the streets of LA has kind of changed in general, and has it changed you at all since you moved out here?
Yeah, for sure. I was definitely heavily inspired by Nipsey Hussle, and when he passed, it was really sad for the city because he was definitely one of the strong black figures in the country. I'm not even gonna say the state of California and in the world, man. Like, he really stood for something that a lot of black people don't understand, and it's sad that he was taken from us, so soon. But at the same time, him being taken from us really opened people's eyes to what he was doing, and was possible for us as black people, to own and to invest and to look into the future and find out what these things are that are going to make us build generational wealth and all these things that we haven't acquired over the last hundreds of years. But definitely was drawn to his movement, and he's a big part of he's not a part of all of it, but he was a big part of why I started it, and listening to his music really gave me that mindset of like, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Kobe passed, man, it was just like, man,
Where were you at? Do you remember the day Nipsey passed?
Yeah. I was at work, and I remember I just saw it on my phone, they had the video out, and I was just like, damn, man, like, I saw at first it was like he's in critical condition. I was like, man, I hope he don't pass. And sure enough, he did. And yeah, it was just sad, man. We went to his store right where he was killed the next day. Me and my coworker Caesar, and we was just out there. And man, the vibes was just all fucked up, man. Everybody was real tense. Everybody was sad. There was a lot of crying. It was a bad time, man. But everybody really came together. The city of Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles, really came together, and they showed love for Nip, man. He was a real one.
And then the Kobe passing, I remember where I was at. I just left a church service when that shit happened in Atlanta, and that was some fucked up shit too.
Yeah, that was hard for the city and the world right there. Like everybody loved Kobe, man. But that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. So just cherish your time while you're here, man. It's not
leave a legacy. Leave a legacy.
Yeah, that's what's important, man. What you gonna leave when you gone, man? What you really gonna leave behind. So, be out there putting in work, man.
Yeah, how do you feel like the city of Los Angeles has kind of changed your outlook on things coming from Houston? You feel like, because we've been talking about the people and kind of your experiences and all of those things.
Just greater appreciation for value of things, and it's a marathon. You gotta have a mama mentality. You know what I mean? It's
Different animal, same beast.
different animal, same beast, man. You gotta evolve. You gotta change. You gotta sacrifice. You gotta adapt. And being here makes you sacrifice and adapt to a lot of things that you wouldn't normally be used to. But once you've done it and you've gotten used to it, you can pretty much conquer anything, man. You kind of figure out how to maneuver out here. And it's
What's it like coming up in the city of Los Angeles? Like, what does it feel like? Cause
it feels like you never got enough shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like you never got enough because it's always more and more and more. But you just gotta know what you want out here, what you coming out here for, and go after it. And just stick with it and just ride it out. That's pretty much it, man. But it's a lot of distractions, a lot of shit to do, a lot of shit to get into, a lot of shit to stay away from. But overall, it makes you hungry. It make you hungry, or it can make you fucking crazy.
Facts, man. Facts. You have any other shout outs, man? Anything like that? I feel like we covered a lot. We covered a lot of stuff that I personally wanted to know and wanted to get into with you.
Word.
Do you have anything else to say, or like your thesis statement to let people know how you coming this year? Because this is my first podcast of 2021. Like, I'm just happy to get into it and just interview somebody that's dope and has a dope story and a real one.
I appreciate that.
A whole movement behind them, a whole city behind them, large family behind them. You got a lot of genuine support, bro. And I don't want nobody to ever make it seem like you don't. You know what I mean? Because you right there.
I appreciate that.
And you right there with the individual bag and the foundation bag. So
I appreciate
I want to just take this time out to salute you as a real one, and just being able to just step out on your own too, and just kind of go for yours, and I think a lot of people out there are going to admire that, and they're going to fuck with this interview, and they're going to fuck with All Love. So if somebody out there had a opportunity to help All Love Skateboards out, maybe donate some money for some skateboards or some Vans sneakers for the kids, like how could they reach out to you, and what should they do?
Well, if you want to donate money, we have a GoFundMe. It's All Love Skateboard Foundation. Go ahead and look that up on GoFundMe. It'll come right up. Right now, we got a $1,500 goal. That $1,500 will be used to buy everything we need to fund an event. Usually, events cost about $1,500. And if you have any gear or merchandise that you would like to donate, you can send it to Bay Street Boards at 3216 Santa Monica Boulevard. That's in Santa Monica, California. We accept new or lightly used shoes, new or lightly used skateboards, shirts that are new or mostly new and lightly used, but we prefer new clothing, especially with the COVID and everything going on. But shoes and boards, 100% will take anything you got. Man, look us up on All of Skateboards. .com or ALLOVESkateFoundation.com. That's where you can go find out all the information, who's a part of the team, how many events we've had. We got everything out there, so you can go find out what we're about. We got the whole package, man. So if you got any interest in it, just reach out to me. You can find me on the Instagram.
Hey, man, it's bigger than having a damn interest in it, man. We gotta give back, man. This is this is one official. It's like an official grassroots movement going on right
Yeah,
here.
for sure.
You don't have an option to not give back to All Love, bro. He's touching
Yeah.
kids in South Central, giving them skateboards and teaching them, giving them the game as far as skateboarding, giving them something positive to do. And it's all love, like it's positivity.
All love, straight up.
You know what I'm saying? It's growth. It's black excellence, man. So
Yes,
keep
sir.
going now. Keep talking your stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's all good. But just go check us out. We got information out there everywhere, man. So just check us out on Instagram, website. Yeah, just hit me up if you need any information. Just hit me up. You can find
What's your personal IG?
my personal